That was a very short intro cutscene. Hello everyone, and welcome to Let's Play StarTropics. And we're gonna start off with a very Zelda-like file select screen. Okay, let's make our file. I'm gonna be naming our file Mike, because that's the main character's name. Technically it's Michael, but everyone just calls him Mike in the game. Also, if you're wondering what that first file is, that sounds like it's named after the Screams of the Damned, that was my test file. And starting off, we're gonna be right into Chapter 1, Prelude. One day in summer, you land at Sea Island, where Dr. Jones has his laboratory. Okay, what's happening is explained in the manual, and another thing that actually, this game came with a letter from our uncle. I'll be reading that once we're in the first dungeon, after I get the mechanics out of the way. Let's head on into the village. This is, I believe, Coral Cola. I think that's what the C stands for in Sea Island. Welcome to Sea Island. Now, one thing I should mention about this game's towns, Mike, you're an ace pitcher, I hear. Show me how to throw a fastball sometime? Is that you basically need to talk to everyone. Have you met our chief yet? He's waiting for you. You do need to talk to everyone because that triggers an event flag. I'm Miss Coral 1990. Do you think I'm pretty? Well, you're an 8-bit sprite, so I can't really judge. Your uncle Dr. Jones is so nice. We call him Dr. J. Well, last week I met Dr. J. He was very busy solving some strange puzzle. Okay. Last night I gazed up at the Southern Cross. Suddenly I saw many shooting stars. Legends say shooting stars are omens of disaster. Oh me! Oh my! I heard you were coming. Want to go fishing? Now, on your first playthrough, the event flag triggering the top by talking to everyone isn't too bad because you're learning stuff. Where do you come from? Americola. But on repeated playthroughs, talking to everyone gets annoying and tedious. Who are you? Stay away from here. Okay, fine, jackass. I have to hurry. I'm gonna roast a pig for your welcome party. Would it be this pig? Okay, don't show your butt to me. I don't need to see that. Though, pork butt sandwiches. Mike, your uncle told me about you. I feel like we're old friends. That's creepy, naked child. I've been waiting for you. I'm Chief Coca-Cola and a good friend of your uncle. Listen, Mike, I have some bad news. Last night, try not to be too upset, but your uncle, Dr. Jones, has been abducted. We must keep this from the Islanders so they don't panic. You were the best hope of rescuing Dr. Jones. I don't know what to do. Can you help? Why not? Good, you're brave. Take this island yo-yo. You may think this yo-yo is just a toy, but it's very powerful. Mike, you're an ace pitcher. Use it. We've got a yo-yo. Mike, it looks peaceful around here, but in the dark below, many monsters have appeared these last few years. Don't let them get you. Mike, the fate of your uncle is in your hands. Find a tunnel in the village and hurry to Dr. J's laboratory. You know, technically speaking, a yo-yo could be used as a weapon with blunt force. Notable though, in the Virtual Console version of this game, they renamed it the Star, the Island Star, for some reason. I think it has to do with copyright stuff. Oh, you're Dr. J's nephew. Here's the tunnel. Good luck. Okay, let's go down the stairs, and suddenly, old lady. I am the shaman and sister of the island chief. Your uncle was abducted because he found a secret in the lost ruins. I have great hope that you will succeed in rescuing Dr. Jones. Just like your North Star, island sailors look for the Southern Cross. Mike, many wild monsters await you in the dark below. But remember, the magic of the Southern Cross is always on your side. Now begin the test of island courage. Good luck. Welcome to the first of this game's battle stages. Basically, it's the main part of this game's action. We have to destroy enemies with our yo-yo. Our yo-yo has, I think, a range of 2 squares in front of us, and we can jump. However, you can either just jump over enemies and projectiles, or you can jump over blocks by holding a direction. You can either jump over things entirely, or you can jump onto those green blocks like the ones we saw in the last room. Some of those, as we'll see later, will contain switches that will either trigger items to appear, doors to open, or will cause a lot of other things to happen, honestly. However, the notable thing about this game's controls is that Mike controls a bit like a tank on the ground. Basically, even though it doesn't look like it, we're actually confined to the tiles on the screen. Very often, you'll actually see me turn a bit earlier than I usually should, like that, because you basically have to start pressing a button earlier in order to keep your flow going. And as an introductory level, this does a good job of introducing you to mechanics. Stars are one of your main ways of restoring health. Every 5 stars, you get 1 heart restored. Also notable, every action stage, you start with 3 lives, even if you leave it and re-enter it. Now, let's go over the story. The manual has a story, let's go over that first. Hi, my name is Michael Jones, but my friends call me Mike. I'm 15 years old and live in Seattle, Washington. Have you heard of my Uncle Steve? Well, most people don't call him that. They call him Dr. Jones. He's a very famous archaeologist who's looking for some lost ruins in the Coral Sea. I've actually never met him, but last week I received a letter from him inviting me to stay with him at his laboratory on Sea Island. I'll leave on a helicopter tomorrow, but I won't be able to sleep at all tonight. Goodbye. Oh, well, good night, rather. Today I landed on Sea Island after a long helicopter ride. The people are very friendly, and they all seem to know my uncle. I sure like this village, but I haven't been able to find my uncle anywhere. No one's here. Find my uncle, and no one here seems to know where he is either. At this point, the manual directs you to read a letter from Dr. Jones, which is kind of the rest of the game's plot, which allow me to get that up. There you are. Dear Mike, I'm sorry I did not write you sooner, but I just returned from a long voyage in the islands in search of lost ruins and artifacts. I was very pleased to find your letter upon my return. Boy, time sure is flying by. Last time I saw you, you were just starting school, and now 15 years old, an honor student, and captain of your high school baseball team. I think it's a great idea that you visit me during your vacation. I'm sure that you'll enjoy the tropical islands, the blue water, and the friendly people you'll find living under the Southern Cross. You can even take a cruise in my super submarine, the Sub-Sea. I've enclosed some pictures on a map of Sea Island for you. Hope to see you soon, and give my regards to your family. And the letter is basically just there for extra world building, but as we'll see later on, there is actually another purpose to it, but we'll go over that when the time comes. Very often in dungeons, by the way, there are chests like this. These are most of the ways you get your items, by jumping on a square, which will either cause a button to appear or just in general, and will cause things like flares to appear. Flares are our first sub-weapon. The way you select a sub-weapon, you can either do it in one of two ways. Pause the game with the start button and then move over to it on the right, or you can just press the select button when in main action. Flares are very limited in range, but if I recall, they have higher damage than the yo-yo. They're not too useful. In fact, this is like one of 2 dungeons in the game they appear in from my memory. So don't get used to using them. These enemies right here, by the way, work the exact same way as the ropes. A lot of this first dungeon is pretty self-explanatory because they want you to get used to the mechanics, especially the control. Though honestly, this game's control takes a bit more getting used to than a dungeon. I'd say I usually don't get used to it until around chapter 3. This is an item room. There's a few of these in every chapter. They either will contain hearts to restore your HP, or red potions. Red potions are very similar to the ones from Zelda, when you use them by pressing the start button, pressing down to access the magic items menu, and then just pressing A on top of them. They don't restore your health entirely, although it will at this point in the game. By the way, that button on the top just leads to a dead end. But I think they restore a total of like 6 hearts. And for this early game, that's really good. Later on, it's only okay. Now, in terms of my personal history of this game, I'm a pretty late adopter to this one, actually. I was introduced through an issue of Nintendo Power. It was fairly late, like 2 years before it ended, so like volumes 250 to 260, I'd say, celebrating the 25th anniversary of the NES. And they had like little developer interviews in there, like talking about games they played as a kid or when they were growing up on the NES. Like I think that Kojima in particular talked about like Super Mario Brothers. And I forget if there was an actual little thing about this game in there, but I know for a fact Mike's sprite when he's facing to the right was on the cover. Actually, wait, there it is. Let me reach over and grab that. Here you are. Yeah, there he is, right there. Let's see. Was there a thing about this game in this, or am I just imagining that? Well, first off, first boss is this giant snake. You were supposed to stay on the second row and just jump so you can avoid his fireballs, but if you have enough magic potions and are good at spamming the button when his mouth is open, you could just continuously throw flares into his mouth until he dies. Let's see, Super Mario Brothers, Donkey Kong, Ghosts and Goblins, Goonies 2, Kid Icarus, Dragon Warrior, Contra, Iron Sword, Battletoads, Mega Man 2, Dragon Warrior 3, Mansion, Baseball Stars, Urban Champion, Mario 2, Punch-Out, Metroid, Batman, Double Dragon 2, Legend of Zelda. By the way, you get points after every stage, but oddly enough, I think you actually get less points the more enemies you kill. And it also saves every time you do that, which is handy. Castlevania, 2, 3, blah, 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 blah. Wow, there is not something about StarTropics now. I could have sworn there was. Either way, this was how I was first exposed to the game, and I just kind of downloaded it on the virtual console afterwards. Hi, I'm Babu, Dr. J's assistant. Mike, you know Dr. J has a submarine called the Subsea, right? The ID code to start this engine of the Subsea is 1492. Weird date to use. Please get on board the Subsea in the laboratory. I wish I could tell you more, but I'm afraid of there's a reason it's 1492, because for those who know American history, well, technically it's more of world history, 1492 is the year that Columbus, quote-unquote, found the New World. This game has a running theme of American stuff, because this game was actually made for America, I believe. In the cockpit of Subsea, welcome on board. I'm the navigational computer of Subsea. Call me Navcom. Input the ID code now. ID code 1492. Start engine. Aye, aye, Captain. Subsea is ready to launch. All ahead full. And that's the end of Chapter 1. Chapter 2, Dolphins. After a few hours' voyage, Subsea is still cruising on the ocean. I actually really like the cruising theme, by the way, when you're on the water. It's really nice. In fact, this game's soundtrack is really, that's a dolphin. I am not imitating that sound. No, not happening. Navcom here, Captain. She is a female dolphin. We'll begin translation. Please find my son. He has disappeared. Captain, may I promise her to find her boy dolphin? Sure, why not? I like animals. Aye, aye, Captain. Thank you. Please find my son. Okay. If we move slightly more right, we can find an island, but we have to go through this tunnel to get through to it. Let's check out what's going on in this lighthouse. Hello there, dude. Hello, I maintain the lighthouse. So you're looking for a boy dolphin? Sorry, I have not seen him. Oh, please meet my wife at our south house. She enjoys company. Is it just you two on this island? How do you stay sane, sir? Social contact is a very important part of humanity, and one person, if I recall, is not enough for that. Also, you might notice there's waves in front of that thing below me. That means you can go through it like that. The waves are not consistent, though, so they'll only show up, as far as I can recall, on certain tile, when you're on a certain tile, rather. Let's check out his house. I'm assuming you're his wife? Welcome, welcome. It's so seldom my husband and I get visitors. So you're looking for a boy dolphin. Sorry, but I have not seen him. But early this morning I saw a bottle on the beach. Wonder if it's a clue to the lost dolphin. That's weird. That's really weird. How do you get constant food? I guess fishing, though. By the way, there's that bottle, but how do we get to it? Notice how that beach above me has this extra gray line? That means there's a secret passage. And we've got a bottle. There's a note in the bottle. You read it? Help. Captured by evil aliens. Tell my nephew to use code 1776 Dr. J. Well, that's a bit more blatant. I guess we better head back to the Subsea. No, I don't want to read it again. But with that, I'm actually going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 2, we will be heading on back to the Subsea and using the ID code so we can continue on in this island. See you guys then.